Hello and welcome or welcome back. This is your curious European friend. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because obviously usually I look into you guys' countries, other countries where I am not from. But today I thought it might be interesting to look into foreigners in my country, the Netherlands. And in particular, this video is about Canadians trying Dutch food. Now, the stereotype is that Dutch food is generally not that good. But is that the case? We're going to be finding out together today. So let's dive into it.
Dutch food. Honestly, it's a cuisine we don't know a whole lot about, but today we are in The Hague and we are going to be exploring some of the best places to eat here in the city.
I hope you guys are hungry today. My name is Trevor and this is Anna. We're the Delightful Travelers. Get ready for some delicious food.
You might have already noticed the umbrella. Today we are battling the elements. It seems to be going back and forth between kind of drizzling, pouring down rain, the sun slightly coming out, so it's definitely a weird day. We're going to be making our way around.
Not for the Netherlands. That's about, most of the time it's like that. It just changes up.
Around and trying to avoid the rain. This is going to be a challenging day for sure. We plan to eat some very, very traditional Dutch foods, but also we are in The Hague, which is like one of the most international cities in the entire world. So we're going to be trying some international food as well that's very popular here in the Netherlands.
Man, this weather is not what we signed up for today, but I know what we did sign up for. Stroopwafels?
No idea if I'm saying that correctly. I guarantee you we're going to pronounce a lot of things very, very badly. And I'm sorry to people from the Netherlands.
Yeah, that's okay. But if you do want to know, it's stroopwafels. So you pronounce it like O, as in maybe like what you guys would say like OA, as in boat. It's kind of like O, like that, like stroopwafels. But I don't care if they mispronounce it.
You'll probably be cringing, but your language is really difficult.
Well, the inside of this place is adorable, and you can see the dough here, so they make them fresh right on the spot. I cannot wait to eat this guy. The smell of this is insane, you guys. I can't believe how much I can smell it, and I have bad allergies today.
If you're wondering exactly what a stroopwafel is, it's basically like a really, really thin cookie type batter, and they make it into like a super duper thin waffle. There's two sides to it, so they basically take two of them, they put a whole bunch of stuff in the middle of it and then enclose it. So the stuff in the middle is the stroop, which is similar to a caramel, and it basically a stroopwafel translates to syrup waffle. So it's kind of syrup, but from a Canadian.
Yeah, it's not like exactly caramel, but also not what you would think of like classic syrup. But yeah, it's somewhere in between. But I would say maybe it's more like more caramelly. But these things, stroopwafels, are, in my personal opinion, some of the best things about the Dutch cuisine. I don't know if we're going to spoil already what I think about the Dutch cuisine, but I can say that they're one of my favorite things, especially if you go to a market. If you ever go to the Netherlands and you want to try stroopwafels, then I would suggest you just go to any local market, and usually there will be a stroopwafel stand there, and just get one there, because most likely it will be cheaper and just as good, if not better. They're so good. So you can have them like this, but like in the grocery stores, obviously they're not gonna make them fresh there, so they'll just be in like packs, and it's a different experience than getting it fresh like that. And I do really love them like this when you go get them fresh. Like I said, I would suggest going to a market, but yeah, the warm ones are amazing. If you do buy them from the grocery store, you can also put it in the microwave for a few seconds. Be careful with that because it might burn quickly. It's very easy to do it too long in the microwave, or you make some tea or something and just put it on top of the cup for a little bit, and you'll kind of get the same effect, but not really. So I would still highly suggest you get one from the market.
Incense, definitely not a maple syrup, but more of a caramel. You also had the option of getting a bunch of things on top, so there was like more stroop, there was
just get the plain one. I feel like the stuff on top is just tourist things. I've personally never eaten a stroopwafel with anything on it, so yeah, I should just a plain one, otherwise it's just gonna overpower probably.
chocolate and a whole bunch of other things, but we decided to just go for the basic kind so we can really get the taste of it. Do we want to try this now? Interesting. It almost has like a, I want to say like a ginger smell to it, but I don't think there's any ginger in it as far as I know. Let's try it though. Wow, so that is not at all what I expected. If I would have guessed what the texture would be like, I would have thought that it would be really, really crunchy on the outside, and then the stroop on the inside would be kind of like creamy, and you kind of pull it out almost like caramel, basically. But it really forms into one big cookie, and if I were just to bite into this and having no idea how they made it, I would just assume it's one formation and they hadn't compiled it into, you know, with 3 different things combined. It really tastes like a ginger cookie. There must be something in here that's gingery because...
Yeah. It does kind of give that feel and that vibe when you eat it. It's kind of not cinnamony, but you know, that kind of vibe.
It really reminds me a lot of gingerbread.
I guess one of the things about the rain is there's less people outside, but now we're trying to find a restaurant where we're going to eat inside, so there could be more people inside, but hopefully that's not the case. Well, we found the best of both worlds, actually. We came to a restaurant called Nasi Padang Lepek, and I say the best of both worlds because we have some cover here, so we can dodge the rain, still be outside, and you might be wondering, like, what's the name of that restaurant? Is that like Indonesian? Is it Asian? Well, it happens to be. So here in the Netherlands, Indonesian food is extremely popular. You'll find them everywhere, all over the country. Indonesia.
So is Surinamese. Surinamese, one of my favorite cuisines. It's really good, and it's also really popular in the Netherlands.
Which is a former Dutch colony. Because of that, a lot of Indonesians have moved here in the past century or so, and now we get to have their yummy, delicious food right here in the Netherlands. Now you might have noticed me holding some satay. We got chicken satay, and how beautiful does this look? Now, we've been to Indonesia before, but it's been a while. But I do remember that these things are usually very tasty, and they can be very spicy. They did say today that some of the dishes are going to be spicy, so we'll see. But enough talking, let's dig right in.
Yeah, it probably depends if you have a more like an actual closer to Indonesian the type of this dish, or more like the Dutch type, because usually when in stores, in Dutch stores and stuff, if something says it's spicy, it's not. It's not really spicy. But this might be more like an actual Indonesian place that's not been adjusted to the Dutch taste buds, I suppose.
Oh, sweet heaven. This is my jam. Well, this thing is delicious. That chicken is so tender. I don't know how they do this, but it must have been just sitting around for hours or days marinating because it's divine. But let's talk about that sauce. Baby. It's just peanutty, it's creamy, it's rich in flavor, and then you got the little veggies on it as well. It just makes for an absolute perfect starter dish. Like, how do you cook this? Every time we eat something like this when we're traveling, especially over in Asia, I'm always like, man, I wish we could do this at home, but I would never be able to do this at home. Highly recommend you try this, but you're gonna have to be a fan.
Yeah, I've never made it, but I don't think it's actually that hard to do. Because I think making peanut sauce is quite easy. If I remember correctly, my mom would also use like peanut butter in it with other stuff. I'm not too sure, but I don't think it's that hard to do.
Kind of like a peanutty sauce, that is for sure. But man, this just works overall. Before we keep eating delicious Dutch food, we just wanted to say a huge thanks to Squarespace.
Easy to build your match your brand or style.
Going to skip through that. Let's see.
I know like us.
All right, let's keep eating.
So for our second dish of the day, we went for something called Nasi Padang, which has a whole bunch of different things on it. I actually had to take a picture of the menu because I had no way I was going to remember everything. So in the center, we have white rice. That's the easy one. Beef rendang over here. We have egg balado. This is a jackfruit curry. And this is spicy tempeh over here. And there's a few other little things surrounding it. So I really want to start off with this beef rendang. It's something I've never tried before. I think maybe Trevor has, but I'm going to try it with some of this rice. I think it's going to be spicy. I'm guessing. They warned us there's some spiciness here on this dish, but not sure which ones. That is exceptionally good and also quite spicy, I would say. Probably like a medium spice. It's not going to like completely blow your socks off, but it's pretty spicy. The beef itself is kind of like one big chunk of like really, really slow cooked beef. I wasn't sure if it was going to be more like shredded already or little chunks of beef, but no, it's like a slow cooked beef that you can just pull apart. The sauce kind of has like a slight curry flavor to it, but not too strong. Couldn't even begin to tell you what spices are in there. There's a whole bunch of different flavors happening, but spicy, definitely.
Man, this dish is absolutely crazy. There's so much on the plate here. Now I'm gonna try this guy. This is jackfruit. Now it's a type of fruit that we don't have very often. Usually, from what I remember, and it kind of looks like it here, it's like a little bit like of a meaty fruit. The texture is just really interesting. I think for a lot of vegetarians out there, they use this kind of in place of meat, just because it kind of has that meaty texture and consistency. But enough talking here. Let's go for it. That's perfect. And they do not hold back on the spice here at all. They weren't kidding. I don't know if I'm getting some of the beef sauce in there, but I really like this one. I'm gonna need some rice to kind of cut it down because boy, it is.
It is probably a legit place then if it's actually spicy.
Spicy. Look at this thing. It's an egg. I think we
I've
said.
never had this before. Like, I'm very particular about eggs. They can really gross me out. So I always have to make it myself. Usually don't get it at restaurants or anything because I don't know. It's just this weird thing I have where only I can make my omelet or my scrambled eggs, and I only usually like it in like usually I make scrambled eggs, or like I always whisk the eggs. I don't like it in too many ways because then it will gross me out for some reason.
This before. Now I forget what the sauce is on here, but I think at this point some of it's all kind of mixed together. Not for the record, I'm never a big fan of hard-boiled eggs, which is I'm assuming what this is, covered in sauce. I'm not even gonna cut it. I'm just gonna eat it like this. Don't hate me. Yeah, straight up egg on the inside. I don't know what hard-boiled eggs don't do it for me, but
Yeah, I feel that.
I never had a hard-boiled egg with sauce like this on it before. It's also really spicy. They're on Team Spice over here, but probably going to be my least favorite in the entire dish, but everything else, super good. Well, that was absolutely delicious, and now we're, on the hunt for something else, but this time not food, because I don't think we can eat anything
You can also see a little bit of the Netherlands through this video.
else right now, but we are off to a good start. Man, some of these streets confuse me. I'm looking around right now, and I keep looking for cars, but it's just bikes and trams.
Yeah, you have to be really, really careful.
Yeah, but right now, we're trying to find a place to get a drink, maybe another snack. It's a little later in the day. You probably noticed we got some blue sky.
Yeah.
And the weather has improved and there's lots of people out now. Well, we've just come over to a pub here called The Fiddler and take a look at the inside of this place. This feels like an absolute classic Dutch style pub. There's so much to look at in here. There's so many taps, and one of the
It's
reasons
interesting that they think it's like typically Dutch. I wouldn't have expected that they would think that. To me, this looks more like English.
we're actually here.
But Yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
Is because they have a brewery. It's called Animal Army, and it's their own brewery. Like, this is craft beer made right here in The Hague. So that's one of the main reasons we wanted to come over here. I know we could try some of the, I think like Texels is a beer, and I think there's some other domestic beer, let's call it that. Not that this isn't domestic, but in Canada where we're from, craft beer is all the rage, and we love craft beer. We usually chase it while we travel. And yeah, if you're wondering why I have my sunglasses on inside right now, we're sitting by a window, but I still have these crazy like spring allergies. Like, look how red my eye gets. I get this in Canada. It's like late June thing, but for now, I'll let you guys not see that. I'll taste the beer because I know you're gonna wonder about that, but let me know if you have these crazy, annoying spring allergies. Oh yeah, see, that's right up my alley. They call it a summer pale ale, so it's light in alcohol, goes down smooth. I think it came out of a cask, so it could be a little bit colder, but it's gonna do the trick. And don't worry, we're not just having a beer while we're here. We got some Dutch snacks, some really popular
Can't say too much about the beer because I hate beer.
Dutch snacks coming up that we're about to eat. Yeah, we're gonna eat more food.
Well, our snacks have arrived. It's definitely a thing here in the Netherlands to get a beer and have some snacks with it. I mean, that's certainly not original to the Netherlands. It's pretty common in a lot of places where beer is a common thing. But I'm not going to complain about having some yummy snacks with my yummy, yummy beer. So
We basically call it een borrel. Or je bent your... How would you... I'm trying to combine Dutch and English. So we would say, like, we zijn aan het borrelen. Which means, like, we are borrelen. So it's like, borrelen is the activity, if you will. And then this is a borrel.
First off, bitterballen. If you watched our last video, you are slightly familiar with it. We had some in Amsterdam. We had some different kinds there. This is slightly more traditional than one of the ones that we had in the last video. We did have the regular kind, and then we tried a little bit of a different one. This one is still the original with beef in the middle, but it also is made with beer, which seems very fitting given that we are at a pub drinking some beer. So usually, bitterballen, if you're not familiar with it, is like a small little ball. It's deep fried. It's much like a croquette. They usually have beef in them, but you can get vegetarian ones as well. And they kind of have like a gravy consistency on the inside. It's like beef and gravy. And they come with the...
Yeah, basically a croquette, if you don't know, is like a... This-ish big and like this. Yeah, it's kind of like a different version of a bitterball, but they're both not my favorite thing that I would get at a bowl. I'll still eat it, like, still pretty good, but just, I don't know, something about it is not my favorite thing either. The meat inside sometimes it's like really, it's almost like threads, and it's not my thing.
Side of mustard, which goes perfectly with them. Gonna dip that in.
But I will say I like bitterballen over croquette. Because I think that the idea that I have is that there's less meat in the bitterball.
Hot. Oh yeah, that is really, really hot, but really, really good. Be very careful when you take a bite because it really holds in that heat, I think, because it's deep fried and so like dense on the outside. But the taste of it, so good. I have to say, I appreciate that they do not give you any light, boring mustards here. Like, they are always very pungent and I love it. But inside this guy, it's super creamy, super thick. It is quite a bit like the original one that we had yesterday, but it has a little extra flavor, a little extra punch to it. So I think adding in the beer into this mix is great.
Well, look what I got to try here. We got some Dutch cheese sticks. Old Dutch cheese sticks is what they called them on the menu. Now, I'm going to assume, because so far here in the Netherlands, whenever we come across cheese in some kind of like appetizer-y form, it seems to be Gouda cheese. So I don't know if I'll be able to tell if my palate is that good enough. But we also got some dipping
I don't
sauce.
know if I would be even able to tell, honestly.
I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know what that is. First, I'm going to try it without the sauce and then get into that. Oh, hell.
Nah, I paid $8.40 for that. That's insane. I didn't really look at the price of the bitterball, but That's wild. I feel like they're definitely getting some tourist prices in this video. You can find it for cheaper.
That's like the perfect companion to a beer. Like, talk about a perfect beer snack. Totally get why people eat the bitterball as well. But let's see what this is. We got some sauce going all in there. Oh, I think it's a sweet and sour. Let's see. Oh yeah. Well, that sauce is just divine. It is like a sweet and sour. It's also like, it almost feels like there's a little bit of honey in there. It's like a little bit sticky. It rounds out that flavor, and it goes really nice with the crunchy, really crunchy cheese sticks. Well, let's talk about the cheese. I mean, Dutch cheese, come on. Doesn't get any better. This thing is delicious on its own, but when you dip it in that, it's even better. God, I can't stay here in the Netherlands too long because I'm going to get addicted to all these like snacks that you can have while you're at a pub and having drinks. Like, we don't get these back home. We have like matzo sticks, but these are better. They're almost wrapped like a little spring roll. Man, the food here today has been so good already, and we're gonna eat.
That's the one thing that sucks about trying food in different places, because I love trying foods from different cuisines and just trying new foods in general. But then when you find things that you really, really love and you can't get anywhere else, that sucks. I have some things that I'm like, oh my God, I really would love this or that right now. You just can't get it.
More. Well, next up we have come over to a place that is just next door to the Fiddler, very, very close. It is a place that actually specializes in churros, which is not what we are having today. They actually have a little Dutch specialty kind of pancake.
This is so good. I can honestly say this is so good.
They're called poffertjes? Poffertjes.
Poffertjes.
I think I'm saying that correctly, but probably butchering it. I'm doing my best, guys. So these are little, like I said, little tiny mini pancakes. They're oh so cute. They are made of yeast and buckwheat flour, and then they cook them in these little pans, these little cute little pans, and they put a ton of powdered sugar on there. We actually walked around a little bit trying to find a table, and you can see it kind of started to dissolve because of the heat on the top. So I think these are going to be quite delicious.
That's actually butter. So usually when you get poffertjes, you get powdered sugar and butter on top. I've actually, now that I think about it, never eaten them fresh before. I always just get them from the grocery store in this pack, and then you just put them in the microwave. And then they also come with powdered sugar in this little block of butter. So that's butter on top. And usually I feel like you want to have a good amount of butter.
Well, we got one here. Look at all the...
It's really good when the butter melts and it goes over that powdered sugar, and yeah, it's heavenly.
Oh, sugar icing here just kind of falling off. This is going to be a good little treat. It's windy here. You can see it blowing in the wind, but let's give it a try. Same time. Okay. That is a solid pancake. Well, these things taste delicious. They're really soft on the inside, and because we saw them make them right in front of us, they're a bit warm, and I really like that.
I didn't see if they put any like syrup or anything over them, but they taste syrupy, so I wonder if I missed that part, because I'm kind of getting like a very, very sweet flavor off of them, other than the powdered sugar, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's probably the butter.
On that. It just, they have this really yummy flavor going on.
Yeah, I don't think the camera will pick it up here, but I'll put shots on the screen. But look at that guy. Man, oh man, it's just covered and coated in this kind of ice and sugar. Really nice taste on these. I mean, I know Dutch pancakes are a very popular thing. Everyone knows they're really good.
Why can you not find these around the world?
I don't
These
know.
are such a yummy little snack, and they're so easy to make. It took them about 7 minutes or so to actually cook them, but then look how they come out. I don't know if this travel well.
It was worth the anticipation, because the whole time you're there, you can kind of smell them making this thing. And yeah, this might be one of the best little treats we had here yet. We don't often eat, you guys heard us say this before, like desserts on the channel, but I'm telling you, this one is right up our alley. Whenever we...
Yeah. Dutch people might also eat this just as a lunch or dinner sometimes. Definitely not like every day or anything, but yeah, we will eat them as lunch or dinner sometimes. Just like we would eat Dutch pancakes for dinner, I would say, instead of lunch. But and I know that's to some that's like shocking because my American boyfriend is like, you eat pancakes for dinner? Because there they eat pancakes, the American pancakes, for breakfast. But that is shocking to me. So it's just interesting how, yeah, you just have these different experiences over the world.
We do eat desserts. We try to make sure they're in line with what we like, and today we succeeded.
Well, I can't quite figure out what our favorite thing about the city is so far. If it's the delicious food or if it's just walking around these beautiful streets. Like everywhere we look, let me turn this around. Everywhere we look, there are beautiful buildings. And because we're from Canada, we just get enamored with it, huh?
I know, there's such a mix here of like really old buildings and then like new modern buildings. And it's really fun because I know in Canada, obviously, our buildings are not that old, but when they get historic, people get really protective about them. And people want, especially where we're from, when new buildings go up, people get a little bit upset. Not that we like when they pull down like old historic buildings, but I like the mixture of the two. It looks really nice.
If you guys are new around here and it's the first time you clicked on one of our videos and you left a comment and you're saying, oh, you gotta go explore more of The Hague if you like walking around here. We actually have 2 videos ago. We were all over the city. We were down by the beach and the pier. So make sure to watch that if not. But for now, you're stuck with us to eat some more food. Next on the list,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually end it there because it looks like they're gonna have bagels. And I don't have too much to say about that because it's obviously not Dutch, so I want to just keep it to the Dutch food for this video. If you want to watch that, you can of course click the link in the description of my video and you can watch the rest of it. But this was really interesting and fun to see what these Canadians think of the Dutch cuisine. So I mentioned before, I was like, should I give my opinion already on what I think about the Dutch cuisine in general? So I'll give it now. What I think about the whole Dutch food cuisine in general is that it's not my favorite. And probably if you ask most Dutch people, it won't be their favorite because it's just almost objectively just not the best thing that there is. Because, for example, this was more like snacks and treats, I would say, overall. But like an actual Dutch dinner might be, I don't know why my voice just went like that. I feel like that sounded weird, but might be stamppot. So that means you have potatoes and some kind of vegetable. It can be carrot, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale. Just, yeah, a type of vegetable, usually one of those. But you mix and mash it with the potato, and then you have some meat on the side, usually like, like sausage or something. Might also do bacon with certain types of stamppot. So that's a really traditional Dutch dinner, which I do appreciate from time to time. But then usually we'll just eat like, we called it AVG's, and it's like potato, meat, and vegetable, and that's kind of it. So it's just, the Dutch cuisine is just not that special in general. So that's my take on it. But these things, the snacks, stroopwafel, poffertjes, the more Indonesian, Surinamese type of cuisines are amazing. So yeah, if you want to go to the Netherlands, I'd say definitely try those things because those are really nice and usually do not disappoint. So that's my take. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Would you try any of this if you would ever go to the Netherlands, or maybe you have been and tried some of it, or yeah, what would be your number one thing that you would try otherwise? Let me know in the comments.